I have some funny MAGA meltdowns to show you after Kamala Harris has gotten a lot of favorable polling over the past few days. At the same time, the early voting data seems to be going in Kamala Harris's favor, even though the race is going to be close. But while it's funny to see MAGA meltdown, it also kind of scares me to see how confident they are. Not just confident, but so overconfident that they think there is no way Trump can lose the election. They're expecting a Reagan-esque landslide due to the lies that Trump has told them and due to them being caught up in this bubble. But that bubble is going to be burst tomorrow, and then we'll cover the aftermath over the next few months. But let's break down the immediate news. JD Vance just held the rally. Kamala Harris also held one that was way better than JD Vance's. At the same time, MAGA is melting down and Trump is slipping in the polls. We're one day out. We have no time to waste. People keep commenting, I've been watching you for a while now, but I didn't realize I was never subscribed. Subscribing now and voting blue. Let's win this thing. Let's bring it home. And let me start this off with a clip of Donald Trump talking about healthcare. And you'll notice that Donald Trump has never had a healthcare plan. You'll see clips from 2016, 2018, 2020, going all the way to 2024, where he admitted he only has concepts of a plan. Take a look.
We have no choice but to absolutely replace Obamacare, and we're going to come up with a much better plan. We're going to come up with a great health plan. And this is a great plan. I actually think it will get even better. But very importantly, it's a great plan. Wait till you see the plans we have coming out literally over the next 4 weeks. We have a plan coming out, an additional plan coming out in a very short period of time. We're going to have fantastic health care, and the plan is coming out over the next 4 weeks. We already have the concept of the plan, and it'll be much better. Tell you what the plan. Yeah, well, we'll be announcing that in about 2 months. We're signing a health care plan within 2 weeks. 9 years after you first started running, do you have a plan, and can you tell us what it is? Obamacare was loud. So just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan? I have concepts of a plan.
I have concepts of a plan. Keep in mind, this is 9 years after Donald Trump hit the national stage of politics in America, and he still doesn't have a plan. That's probably why he's rapidly slipping in the polls. And just to bring you guys up to date before we jump into some of these MAGA meltdowns, we've gotten a few good pieces of information over the past 24 to 48 hours that has people feeling a lot more confident. For example, a very highly respected pollster named Ann Seltzer came out with a new poll in Iowa showing Kamala Harris is winning with elderly women, with independent women, and even winning the state of Iowa. That same trend was seen across multiple other states, and today, a very respected analyst in Nevada who has predicted every single election since 2012 in Nevada said Kamala Harris is going to win Nevada. Meanwhile, MAGA is absolutely melting down. JD Vance is out there saying stuff like this, using terrible rhetoric.
But in 2 days, we are going to take out the trash in Washington, D.C., and the trash's name is Kamala Harris.
Wow, Democrats really need to tone down the rhetoric. JD Vance is saying that Kamala Harris is trash, and they have the goal to get mad when Joe Biden says anybody who clapped for the Madison Square Garden comments were garbage. Now let's compare this to VP Harris speaking, and let's jump into some of the MAGA meltdowns.
So Allentown, this is it. Just one more day. One more day. One more day left in one of the most consequential elections of our lifetime, and momentum is on our side. Momentum is on our side. Can you feel it? We have momentum, right? Because our campaign has tapped into the ambitions and the aspirations and the dreams of the American people. We are optimistic and excited about what we will do together. And we here know it is time for a new generation of leadership in America.
Boom. Kamala Harris seems optimistic. She was talking about the exact same momentum during the speech that I was talking about just a minute ago, and due to this momentum, MAGA is melting down. Let's start with Charlie Kirk. He tweeted out, if Kamala was actually competitive in Iowa, why hasn't Tim Walz visited, let alone Kamala? Walz is the governor next door. If there was a remote hope, he would be camping out there. She hasn't spent money in Iowa because she'll lose big there. This poll is fake. This is a media design tactic to suppress turnout. Look at the candidates' actions, not just fake polls. This should piss you off and inspire you to bring 5 more friends to vote. So desperate. And let me just tell you, Charlie Kirk was posting Iowa polls the day before he sent out this tweet. Somebody said in the replies, cope. Franklin said, cope, and he cites the exact same Polymarket chart that Charlie Kirk has been posting for weeks. Charlie Kirk has been posting it when the chart was over here, when Donald Trump was up. Let's say it cut off right here. But now that it's going down, Charlie Kirk is nowhere to be found. On top of that, if you guys saw my video earlier about John Ralston, the dude from Nevada who is a very highly respected analyst, he posted a tweet that said predictions. If you click on the article, the prediction is that Kamala Harris will win the state of Nevada. I'm sure the replies are rational, right? I'm sure the MAGA are being very respectful in the replies. Someone said, clown, you're predicting Kamala. I just unfollowed and will never be taking you seriously again. We'll never be taking you seriously again. Someone said, cry harder. I'm sorry your feelings are hurt. I'm sure he's in shambles. Yeah, that is absolutely hilarious, but it gets funnier. Someone said, honest question, what percentage of this dude's subscribers are Dems? 90% or more? He's accusing John Ralston of being a Democrat, even though over the past few weeks, Ralston has only been releasing favorable data to Donald Trump because the data did look good. Someone said, this is virtually a prediction of vote fraud. Is this what you mean by the red machine? On Point Politics said, are you effing kidding me? Harris +3? Really, John? This is the same dude who the other day said Ann Seltzer was being bought off by Diddy. You think Diddy's in jail right now using his last call to call Ann Seltzer? Absolute delusion. But this does bring us on to this clip of Don Lemon talking to a Puerto Rican voter in a swing state. He's been going through all the swing states and talking to people. And I just want you to listen to what she says about Trump's comment.
Are you Puerto Rican?
Yes, I am.
You are. Did anything that happened at Madison Square Garden last week?
Yes. Yes, it did affect. Yes, it did affect my decision a lot.
What was it like to hear that Puerto Rico is floating garbage in the ocean?
It was horrible because it is not true. It is nice for them to go on vacation, I bet, to my island and enjoy the beautiful people all over there in the culture. But you're going to call us trash? How much have we contributed? Because my people go to war just like every other American citizen here in the United States.
You are American citizens.
Yes.
You're not immigrants.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like every other American citizen here, we all go to war.
The MAGA folks, the Trump folks are saying, oh, it's a joke. It's not a big deal.
No, it's not a joke. That was not a joke.
Were you leaning towards him before this?
I would say yes.
And now?
No.
You think it's going to make a difference in the election?
Yes, it's going to make a difference.
Do you think that the Puerto Rican community could
Yes, absolutely
decide who's going to be president?
Yes. As a female, we were already leaning more towards Kamala when it has to do with women's rights. So now you just pushed us even more. Now you pushed the Puerto Rican women even more.
You said you were leaning towards him to vote, and now you're like, Wow.
I didn't want to say so, but no, he doesn't have my vote.
That is amazing to hear. She obviously has her finger on the pulse and knows that Puerto Ricans are angry. And there's a few things in this clip that I do want to talk about. Overall, that is an amazing story, but someone on Twitter replied, funny how folks were cool with Trump disrespecting black and other minority communities, but the second they realized he had no respect for them either, they suddenly switched sides. Guess discrimination hits different when it's directed at you. And this tweet isn't aimed at this lady in particular. We're all very grateful she is going to vote for Kamala, but it does point out a broader problem with undecided voters being very disengaged until something affects them personally. So this got 130,000 likes on Twitter, and the guy pointing this out seems to be a black American who I'm sure has noticed that all of these racist candidates can get away with doing this or that, and undecided voters don't care. But then when something affects them personally, they switch. I can't tell you how many people I grew up with in Indiana who were homophobic in some way until they had a gay cousin or a gay nephew, then their minds switch. I know like 2 or 3 people like that, not that many. Also, when it comes to abortion, a lot of people I went to high school with were always pro-life until they got into college and had a pregnancy scare of their own, and all of a sudden they are very pro-choice, which is, it's interesting to see how people's minds change when something affects them personally. Let's watch this clip of Don Lemon talking to a dude that looks like he could be Republican, but you'll be surprised.
The election's in, 5 days now, and we could be really screwed if Sweet Potato Hitler gets back in office.
Really? You said sweet potato Hitler. That's strong language.
I think it's fitting.
What did you think when you saw that rally at Madison Square Garden?
I don't think you want my exact thoughts.
No, I do.
How the hell can people still believe this man ever speaks the truth? He's not a good businessman. I don't believe how people actually listen to him and think that he knows anything of what he speaks of.
You're working class American? What do you do?
I drive a truck.
Now, if I can be honest with you, I'm sure people look at you and they think you have the beard, you're a white guy.
They think I'm a redneck, yeah.
They think that you're a Trump supporter.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I am far from it.
So even as a working class American, you believe that the vice president is looking out for working class Americans more so than Donald Trump?
Oh my God, absolutely. How is that even a question? He doesn't care about us.
Absolutely, well said. And I do love when people break the mold like that. This guy doesn't look too overtly Republican, but I can't tell you how many times I've canvassed and you knock on someone's door and it's a big white dude with a big beard and he's got camouflage on, but then he says, I just want to make sure the fascist doesn't get back into office. And you're like, okay. A true American. I want to end this off with an article that had me laughing my ass off. Donald Trump's Georgia rally. Monsters, murderers, and comparisons to Christ. The Republican former president honed in on immigration as he spoke to a crowd in the vital swing state, but not all of his audience stayed until the end. Donald Trump sought to seize the narrative for the final day of the presidential campaign by pledging to end illegal immigration and bring back the American dream. Trump went into election week with a speech focused on border control, saying that Democrats were truly evil. Immigrants were truly evil. Democrats were the devil. He then said November 5th will be Liberation Day. He emphasized his plans to cut taxes. He also says he wants to cut federal income tax while increasing tariffs, which would nuke the economy. Kamala Harris spoke at a rally in Atlanta, and it was much different. She stuck to familiar themes, warning that Trump would abuse power, saying that she has the experience. Here are some polls that we have over the past few weeks. In Pennsylvania, VP Harris is up by 0.1 percentage points. It is a coin flip. I know I've been telling you guys a lot of good news, but that's for a few reasons. Number one, because there has been a lot of good news. You guys have all felt the vibe shift over the past few days, but also, I'm sure we are all latching on this good news to keep ourselves sane, to one extent or another. I mean, the news is good, but I'm sure we're latching on to some of the good news just to stay sane. Wisconsin, Harris wins. Georgia, Harris is down. Arizona, Harris is down. Michigan, Harris wins. But with these three states, it's over. Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, that would be it. And I'll leave you with that. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out.